Okay, right, this is the fixed crypto sampling units. Just a quick demo on video just so you can familiarise yourself with what you need to do if you're asked to take samples from these. The sample will be taken on one of these filters. It comes in a bag and is dedicated to a particular site. It will say on it what the site ID code is. So this is, I'm doing this at Cheen, and this is one of the Cheen raw water sources. Basically, you need to open the bag, take out the cartridge, which has got the filter in it, all sealed up, so you don't need to touch it like you used to. And there'll be a label on there saying which point it's for. Here at Ching there are 3, but I'm just doing one as a demo. But make sure you never muddle them up. They're dedicated for their particular point. Okay, so what we'll also need is one of the record forms that you're used to filling out. So here's one where we put all the various readings and stuff like that in it. I've also got in front of me a laminated set of instructions as a reminder. So there's a section for putting filter on at the start of sampling, and then what to do at the end. And I'll cover both of these in a pretty short space of time. First thing to do is to put the filter in position. I'll just drop it in and show you which way round it goes in a minute. The bag will need to be kept nearby because that's what the sample will go back in later. So I'm just going to tuck it somewhere safe. The form we'd be filling in the date, time and sampler for the start, effectively now, and the meter reading, which is the red and white digits which are on the meter. So on these units, the meter is in that position there. So basically just record those digits before you turn the unit on. Okay. So I've got 000 3306, that's what I've been recording. Okay. On the filter cartridge there's 2 different ends, so you can't mistake which way round it goes, and then the connectors that fit to it only go one way as well. So if you've got it, if it doesn't connect, it's the wrong way round. It's pretty simple. You'll see it so obviously when you put one together. So maybe I'll just home in on that. So as you can see, there's one that shape and one that shape, and corresponding male and female versions on the hoses that I'm going to connect. That one and that one. So they just push on. There's a little cradle here that sort of keeps it all nicely together. Once it's clicked in, we're good to go. So over here on the left is the control panel, and we can turn the pump on or off. There's also an auto setting, but we're not going to be using that. We're just doing manual on or off. So I will turn it on. There's a couple of noises as things start. There's a pump here that will now be taking water from the sample line, pushing it through the filter, and then there's a couple of things that control what happens in terms of flow and pressures. So there's a couple of pressure gauges here. One of those is the sort of outlet pressure. The most important thing at this point is this little brass looking thing, which is a flow meter, and I think that's just reading between 1 and 1.1 litres a minute. That goes on the form for the start reading. It's also worth checking this little meter is ticking round, so if I just sit on there for a bit, you should be able to see the last digit just ticking round fairly slowly because it's only 1 litre a minute, but just check it's ticking round. There you go. That's pretty much it for the starting of a sample, and all of those instructions are explained down here. If there's any problem with any of it, it doesn't work or whatever, then you probably have to notify me at the lab and then we'll troubleshoot it. So on the guide here as well, it shows the various bits that I've been pointing out, the on-off, where the housing goes, the volume meter, flow gauge and pressure gauge. They're all mentioned in the instructions, easy to follow. Okay, right, key thing as well is to sort of now work out when the sample needs to be taken off. So it varies different sites, but these ones at Cheam stay on all week, I believe, because the raw water is pretty good quality and that can run a week. If it's at Elmer, it'll be a shorter period. But basically you need to leave a note for yourself or for one of the other operators when this is due to finish. And then lock it up and walk away. And you need to come back when you've set your reminder. So we're skipping time now. We're going to imagine that we are coming back at that allotted time, and we're going to turn over and we're now removing a filter after sampling. First thing to do is to get that record form that I was completing earlier, put down date and time and sampler for the finish, and before we turn off we need to record the flow from the little brass meter, the little tube type thing. So this one down here. So we record that before we turn it off. First thing you do. Then you can turn it off. Up here. Everything dies down, and you can now record the number on the volume meter, like the red and white digits, and add them to the form. And that should be everything recorded. You should have no empty boxes at this point. Apart from the bottom of the form, which is for lab use, but everything at the top should be filled in for start and finish. That's that. And now it's just a case of pulling back these quick release fittings on either side, and the little tails can just sort of rest down there. Take the filter housing out. It's all kind of like sealed up, you don't have to touch it. There's the bag. If you've been given a tag label, a pre-printed sort of barcode label, add that to the unit, pop it in the bag, and that's it. That can go back to the lab along with the paper form as a record of what happened. These two things just go back to the lab, job done. And in this site here, because there's 3, you'd have to do that for 3 different units. So there you go. That's it. Easy. Thank you.